Happy Monday, television family. Hope you had a good weekend. I know I certainly did. Busy, but pleasant nevertheless. I am Dan Kuntz, and this is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Back at it on the 24th day of March, 2025. It is mild. It is 48 degrees. It's already 57 in Moses Lake, and we are in for a very warm week. Temperatures across the board all the way into Thursday are going to be not just above normal, but well above normal. The warm-up actually started yesterday, Sunday. We hit 58 yesterday afternoon. We're going to be in the mid-60s today, and yeah, into the 70-degree mark. It's a distinct possibility. It's in the wheelhouse for both Tuesday and Wednesday. Not record-setting high temperatures, but plenty warm. And tomorrow looks gorgeous. Not only are we going to be right around 70, 71, we think, on Tuesday, but lots of sunshine too. It's going to be, spring's going to be busting out all over north central Washington. But friendly reminder from our friend Bonnie Orr, still a little too early to start planting stuff. People are going to go crazy because of the nice warm weather, and they're going to want to go out and do stuff in their garden and their lawn and their whatever the case may be. A little premature for that. And as a friendly reminder, we're going to replay the interview I did with Bonnie on the first day of spring last Thursday. Just to remind you, not quite yet. Bonnie will be joining me. We have lots to get to, a lot of sports, a lot of news. Drive-by homicide in Moses Lake on Friday night will be our lead news story. We'll have that for you. Everything else that you're used to. And let's not waste any time. Let's get to these cameras. I can't wait for this. I can't wait for this this weather to bust out. I don't know what I'm going to do on Tuesday. Probably leave a little early, go out and catch some rays. Here's the Wenatchee Valley on this very mild Monday morning. 48 degrees. Yesterday we hit 58. It was 51 on Saturday. That's actually below normal. Our normal high is 55. Yesterday we hit 58 degrees, mid-60s. Today, as we take a look at the Wenatchee Valley. Sunrise this morning, 6:55. Sunset tonight, 7:20. That's pretty easy to add up for me. 12 hours and 25 minutes of daylight, 12 hours, 25 minutes of daylight, an additional 3 minutes and 26 seconds than what we had yesterday. I went to check, and as we go to camera number 2, I was curious to see, since we could actually see up to Blue Pass we go, it looks like. The snow is going to melt big time up there too, folks. Watch out for the area rivers and streams. They'll be taking off at a pretty good clip by the end of the week. I looked back to see when was the last time we hit 70 degrees, because it's definitely a possibility, not only Tuesday, but Wednesday as well. Well, it's been a long time. It's been 154 days, not counting today. October 20th was the last time we got to 70 degrees. It was 71 degrees back on October 20th, and we have not hit 70 since. It looks like we're going to do it tomorrow and Wednesday before we cool down to more normal temperatures by Thursday. Camera number 3 from our cameras around the valley, courtesy of our PTZ cameras. Looks like it's a little wet up Lake Wenatchee way. It looks like they're getting a little bit of light rain. Let me see here. Lake Wenatchee is at 43 degrees, and they've had some snow melt, but it looks like you're not golfing at Kate or Glen just yet. By the way, that rain that you see there in Lake Wenatchee, that'll taper off before the day is over. They'll have some sunshine. Temperatures in the lower 60s up there. Will be more like the mid-60s here. And camera number 4. Up to Billy Goat we go. A lot of snow receding big time up Billy Goat Way. Good morning to Pateros. Good morning to Brewster, Bridgeport. You're hidden behind the ridge, but I know you're there. All the way up to Omak, Okanagan, Orville, Tenasket, Tunk Mountain. Canada is visible way off into the distance. I wish we could show you the Met-Hal Valley. We can't, because that's where the actual tower is. If we move the camera to the left to take you up the Met-Hal Valley towards Twisp in that area, it'd be a beautiful view, but all you would see is a ginormous aluminum pole, and that doesn't do any good at all. Just a few high clouds up to the north of us. We have one quick video for the National Weather Service. It is going to be a little breezy today. It's very windy right now in Moses Lake. It's already 20-mile-an-hour winds out there. Everybody's going to be dealing with some wind. Your timeline is in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, and the wind direction is going to be indicated with the arrows that you see there. And so, yeah, it's going to be a little breezy as this warm-up begins to really take hold today, and it'll be hanging around for the next couple of days. But the trade-off, at least for today, it's going to be a little windy, especially out in the Columbia Basin where it already is windy, and some gusty winds perhaps to the north of us as well. We're going to have some wind today, nothing really big, but it's going to be a little on on the blustery side today as the pressure gradients are tightening up. So I want to let you know what you're in for wind-wise. From Mother Nature, from the National Weather Service, I should say, Mother Nature runs it. Here we go. The 63 sound today. Could get a little bit light rain. You saw the rain coming down in the Lake Wenatchee area. That may come into our viewfinder before the morning is over. Outside of that, partly sunny. Well, I'm liking 63. I'm liking that a lot. Cloudy tonight, 46 for the overnight low. It's going to keep us pretty mild. And then sunshine all day. On Tuesday, we'll be near 70 degrees. On Tuesday, pretty mild. On Tuesday night, 48 for the overnight low. Again, our normal high is 55. Chance of the 70-degree mark again on Wednesday. We're going to see a few more clouds on Wednesday than tomorrow, and then the system is not very big or strong. It's going to start breaking down Wednesday night. We're going to be wet Wednesday night. You're going to wake up Thursday morning with quite a bit of rain. It will taper off, and we'll get up into the upper 50s on Thursday, which is still above normal. Another chance of rain Thursday night. Friday, another chance of rain. We cool down to about normal with a high of 54 degrees. So as you can see, we're going to have a very warm, actually starting yesterday, mild today, Tuesday and Wednesday. We cool down a little bit on Thursday, cool down even more on Friday and Saturday with a lingering chance of rain. The best chance of rain this week is going to be overnight Wednesday into Thursday morning. You could wake up to some rain on Thursday morning, but look at those temperatures. Wish I had tomorrow off, but I don't. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the news, and there's a lot of it on this Monday. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Central Washington Water is home to the Hot Spring Spa for over 45 years. Come see the Freshwater Smart IQ. It monitors your saltwater spa's pH balance, chlorine, and more. Or the cold plunge tub that will leave you feeling rejuvenated. Plug-and-play spas make hot tubbing easy. With great financing available, cold water, salt water, hot water, Central Washington Water has a spa for your budget and your lifestyle. Stop by today.
It's the National RV Show at the Grant County Fairgrounds in Moses Lake, March 13th to the 23rd. Check out the enormous selection of both new and used RVs, motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, with huge incentives, zero down and no payments for 90 days. Top manufacturers are coming from across the country, like Winnebago, Holiday Rambler, Forest River, Thor, Flagstaff, Grand Design RV, and more. And enter to win $30,000 or a new RV. Get $3,000 over NADA for your trade, paid for or not. So come on down to the National RV Show at the Grant County Fairgrounds in Moses Lake, March 13th to the 23rd.
High clouds, 48 degrees here in the big city. We'll be in the 60s today, maybe even the mid-60s, and a distinct possibility of the lower 70s on Tuesday and Wednesday before we cool down, cloud up, and have a little bit of rain towards the back half of the week. It's 9 minutes after the hour. Moses Lake police are searching for the person or persons who opened fire from a vehicle in the 500 block of West Loop Drive, killing a 14-year-old male victim. The shooting happened at about 9:13 in the evening on Friday. Police say 4 other people, ranging in age from 13 to 26, were injured when the vehicle passed and opened fire. The 14-year-old victim was pronounced dead at the scene. He has not been identified by authorities. Police say they found a suspect vehicle unoccupied after the incident. On Saturday, they served a search warrant at a home in the 1500 block of Buell Drive to look for evidence. The 4 surviving gunshot victims were treated at Samaritan Hospital in Moses Lake. The investigation is ongoing. One of the dozen men arrested last summer in the Washington State Patrol's net nanny sting is also facing charges in federal court. 62-year-old Raymond Sulak of Port Orchard allegedly rode a motorcycle from his home city to the Wenatchee Valley after making arrangements to have sex with two children, ages 12 and 9. In fact, Sulak had been communicating online with a Washington State Patrol officer posing as a parent who would facilitate the sexual encounter. Sulak allegedly admitted in these chats to sexually abusing children in the past. He was arrested on local charges back on July 25th, but he went free from the Chelan County Jail 3 weeks later on a $150,000 bond. During the investigation, police allegedly found evidence that Sulak had traded large volumes of child sexual abuse material with another man in King County. Last month, he was indicted in Western Washington on federal counts of child porn possession and attempted online enticement of a minor and was taken back into custody in Port Orchard. That case was transferred earlier this month to the Eastern District of the Federal Court in Spokane. No trial date has been set. Well, a vehicle fire in the 1400 block of South Wenatchee Avenue was quickly brought under control on Friday, but not before it caused a traffic headache. The flames were reported just before 11 a.m. on Friday morning in a disused vehicle lot just north of the Wenatchee Safe Park. Wenatchee Valley Fire Department crews were able to control the fire and stop its spread within about 15 minutes of getting there, but traffic on South Wenatchee Avenue had to be temporarily diverted by way of Crawford Avenue. A similar fire broke out in the same vacant lot last September. Now, the city of Wenatchee is hosting an open house this week for residents to learn more about the North Wenatchee Avenue Corridor Improvements Project. The city says it's been working with the Washington State Department of Transportation and other agencies to identify improvements to the North Wenatchee Avenue area for over a decade. The project aims to improve safety and mobility for pedestrians and vehicles along the corridor running from just north of Holly Street to Horse Lake Road. The project will install wider sidewalks, landscape buffers, a raised median, U-turns at traffic lights, and a mid-block U-turn and a pedestrian crossing. Attendees can meet the project team. You can ask questions about the project and check out the designs. The open house will be this Wednesday from 5 to 7 at the City Hall Chambers right across the street from our studios. The Omi Gardens Friends Society has launched a GoFundMe page to restore the park after it was impacted by that windstorm last month. The damage to the gardens included 15 toppled trees and disrupted walkways. Earlier this month, a helicopter assisted in the cleanup of damage to the cliffside of the garden. That's where a number of large trees ended up. The group says the helicopter service, costs a lot of money, but it was the only way to remove the trees without causing further damage. The raised funds will go directly to the helicopter services, also to the restoration of the damaged landscape and pathways, and general cleanup and debris removal before the park opens on April 15th. The link to the GoFundMe page can be found on our website. And when the owners of the Side Street retail complex in Cashmere decided they were interested in having a record store on the property, local music enthusiast John Maynard was happy to step up to the plate. He's a musician and a record enthusiast with a broad knowledge of the field. His new store, Cashmere Records, opens on April 12th and offers a wide variety of genres. John told us his main qualifications to run a record store is simple. He's obsessed with music.
It was something that the Thomases were wanting to have at Side Street and had been talking about trying to get someone to come in, and it became an idea, or it was suggested that I would be a good person to do it for quite a long time, and then eventually I just kind of came around to the idea. But it started with Side Street already having the idea for getting a record store in this building and on the project. I'm a major music head, and everybody was just kind of like, you know what, we need somebody, you should do it, So I think it was literally just they know that I'm obsessed, that I'm at home with my records anyways, So basically what I plan to do is have new and used records, cassettes, DVDs, CDs, which are surprisingly cool with young kids right now, and live performance DVDs, VHSs, stuff like that. And my hope is to be able to have some kind of niche stuff and go a little deeper into genres for your record snobs and people like me who are looking for something real deep, and then And then also carry, you know, like stuff that's mainstream and stuff that, you know, the average person walking through can dig, as well as be able to like set people up with a record player setup, and they can walk out with the whole thing. You know, someone comes in with their family and they're like, this actually looks cool, and they want to. I want them to be able to walk out with everything. So we're going to try and be a full encompassing record shop, you know, and event space. I plan on doing some live performances in store and stuff. But in terms of style or genre, it's going to be all over the place. I have been a performer in the Valley. I'm not anymore at this point, but I was a full-time gigging musician in the Valley for a while, so I have quite a few friends in the Valley, and also have some, you know, from the West Side and stuff, and lots from back home in Texas and stuff that tour. So I'm hoping that within 6 months at the latest, I'll have at least one artist a month, and I'll just kind of keep that going. But as my friends come through, or as artists come through, or people reach out to me if they're on tour, I'll have 3 a month if I've got them. April 12th is going to be the grand opening. As we will be doing something, we'll be doing like grab bags for the first so-and-so customers and stuff like that. And I am working on trying to get a live performance situation going for that. We have nothing nailed down exact, but it will be a fun day for sure. Yeah, we'll be opening at 11 a.m. I never saw myself doing something like this, but I saw a want and a need in the community in this valley. I saw how far people have to go to a record store, and I just saw this community starving for more community based around music. When I saw a teenage metal band playing at the Kashmir Farmers Market, I thought that was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. People loved it. They were shopping for carrots and listening to teenagers play Slayer, you know, and I think I just want this space and this business to be a hub, another hub, and another can of fuel for that. And I think Side Street, the whole concept is based in putting money in your neighbor's pockets and like kind of coming together as a community, you know. And I think that music is one of those unique ones that can bring all different kinds of people and the rubbing elbows, you know, and obviously in these times we absolutely need that, you know.
That is the news on this Monday. If you want to know what's going on around here, we have a program that does exactly that, the NCWLIFE Evening News. Monday through Friday at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock on television, 5, 6, and 10 on TV. Available for you to watch via the World Wide Web right around 5 o'clock. It'll be posted on our homepage, NCWLIFE.com, on our YouTube page, our Facebook page. It's out there, and it's pretty easy to find. When we come back, sports, a bunch. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley Monday edition on the NCWLIFE channel. The family at the Epladolin want to help your loved one feel at ease in their new home environment. Epladolin offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments. Residents enjoy 3 delicious home-style meals a day, laundry service, housekeeping service, and encouragement to make themselves cozy in their new home. Epladolin welcomes your family to come and visit their family. Epladolin, independent and assisted living. They make the complicated easy for you. Call today for a tour.
Merry Maids can clean your entire home, business, or vacation rental from top to bottom, inside and out. Merry Maids will even take care of cleaning your carpets, and they can pressure wash your home. Merry Maids has thousands of happy customers. They've been cleaning homes and businesses in our valley for over 25 years. Check out their glowing reviews at merrymaidesofwenatchee.com and call the cleaning experts, Merry Maids, to get your free estimate. Your satisfaction is guaranteed, so relax. It's done.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular, family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. Warm up with one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today.
Caught in a conflict? Family? Workplace? neighbor, business, housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
Sports at 20 minutes after the hour. Haley Van Lith had a double-double, 16 points, 10 assists as the second-seeded TCU Horned Frogs advancing past the second round for the first time ever. They won 85-70 over her former team, Louisville. It was her 19th tournament game. That is the most of any active player.
7 on the shot clock. Van Lith pulls up, got her first basket of the game.
Yeah, first time she's had a really open look right there. What happens? How do they rotate and how does TCU get out of it?
Van Lith gets around the double team, delivers to Hunter once again. Here comes Van Lith pushing in traffic, around all defenders, draws the foul, and one. TCU calls the play, and Jada Curry immediately turns around to the rest of her team. They know the play that's coming, but still can't stop it as Van Lith makes it all the way to the rim. Louisville 24-9 here in the second quarter. Eminoku with another three-pointer. And Haley did tell us, as a graduate of Louisville, she's been getting letters for donations to the university.
Up inside.
Connor, that's what she does. About a month ago in Cameron Indoor, and she surpassed that career high. Tough shot from Van Lith. Van Lith pulls up, splashes it home. Have Jada Curry in that game. Bounce pass into Sedona Prince. Beautiful pass by Van Lith. She gets it with 10 on the shot clock. Here comes the double team. Hunter from the corner. Got it! And history is made in Fort Worth, Texas. The first Horned Frog basketball team to advance to a Sweet 16 in school history.
In her post-game press conference, Van Lith was asked about her impact on women's college basketball.
Haley, if you look around the arena today, you see people of all ages and all genders wearing your number, your face. You're becoming one of those faces that's really growing the spotlight around women's basketball as a whole. Can you just talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a blessing, but I really am. I'm really standing on God's shoulders right now, you guys. He's delivered me from so much, man, and so much pain and suffering and confusion, and I just, it's all glory to God, truly. I would be nothing without him, and in the darkest moments of my life, he never turned his face from me, and I just couldn't be more grateful to experience his love in this moment. So, all those people are wearing my jersey out there, but it's for a greater purpose, and it's God working, man. So that's all I have to say.
Louisville coach Jeff Waltz compared losing to a former player as like a relationship with your ex-wife.
What's your relationship with your ex-wife? I mean, is it really good? I mean, I guess you can. It's how you leave. That's part of it as well. She had a great career. I mean, played extremely well. We took care of her. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what they say. We took care of the kid. And she graduated in 3 years. Pat her on the back for it. I mean, it's an accomplishment. It's a great job. She's got a master's degree, working on more. I mean, it's fantastic. So I guess you can, but I don't know too many of them that do. But you've had situations where we've had players here that have gone on into the portal or transferred before the portal was a thing. We had a few kids that were playing behind Asia Durr.
and they're like, Coach, we really want to play more. I'm like, I think it'd be great. Can you beat her out? And they're like, probably not. And then I'm like, okay, what do you want to do? They're like, well, we'd like to transfer. And I said, hey, I'll help you. Let's find you a great fit. And we've had kids that have done that, have done well. So I think it's how you do things. If you want to have a chance to have a relationship back at the school that you left.
TCU next faces Notre Dame in the round of 16. We don't know where or when yet. We'll know by the end of the day today. L.J. Cryer sank a couple of free throws with 14.2 seconds left to help Houston hold off Gonzaga. It was a nice comeback, but it wasn't enough. 81-76 was the final for the Bulldogs. Their season comes to an end. Houston ending Gonzaga's run of 9 straight Sweet 16s that had been the longest active streak in the nation. Coach Mark Few said he's proud of his team and the late comeback that fell short.
Well, hey, it ended up being just a great basketball game, especially the way our guys fought their way back into it. And I'm so proud of how they hung with it, and gave ourselves a chance right there at the end. And that's not easy. I mean, I'm telling you, Houston was, everything and more that we thought they were going to be, especially the opening 10 minutes and then start of the second half. But just extremely proud of the guys, man. They hung in there. We made enough plays. Our offense kind of kept us in it. We were just trying to find something that could get us some consecutive stops there and just to give us a chance. And we just came one possession short there at the end. But
so now it's off to a new conference next year for Gonzaga. Well, the Edmonton Oilers continue their dominance of the Kraken on Saturday night. They won 5-4. That's their 9th consecutive win against Seattle. The Kraken return to action tomorrow night on the road with the puck dropping at 6. They'll be taking on Calgary. The Mariners rode the long ball in a comeback win over the Brewers in Cactus League play yesterday. Julio Rodriguez belted a grand slam, and Cal Raleigh homered on the very next pitch to cap the 5-run comeback.
That we need to do to score runs, and we're going to do that all year long.
Polanco puts a charge into this down the line. It is fair. It is gone. And Jorge Polanco, who's having a really strong spring with the bat, just goes yard to put the Mariners up 1-0. Dan, you have to stay on now. You understand this, right?
Yeah, of course, Aaron. Anything for you, Aaron.
Last year, most homers and most runs batted in by a Mariners catcher in a single season. 34 homers, 100 driven in. Out to right field. Does it have enough? It is onto the berm. Are we talking about home runs? Cal Raleigh goes deep and has put the Mariners back in front.
He has been able to be so effective from both sides of the plate, handling this entire staff like he does. It's just really impressive. And that's his throwing arm, and that's the last thing you want to do is have a bunch of swelling in that.
JP into center field. Polanco scores. Here comes Tellez thundering home. He scores standing. JP Crawford drives in a pair. Almost hit that ball behind him. In the air, right center field. Julio watching it fly. It's a go-ahead grand slam for Julio. That's got to feel good, and you're right. It is just Cactus League play. It is just spring training, but
you can't sneak a fastball by Julio Rodriguez. Great piece of hitting right there. To make this a reality and make this happen. Oh boy.
Cal Raleigh just mashed this into orbit onto the walkway, clears the berm, his second home run today.
This is the taste you want in your mouth right now as you head north. This is just second verse, same as the first. That ball was absolutely touched.
Mariners close out Cactus League play today against the Padres, and they pack their bags and head north opening day against the A's in Seattle on Thursday night. All right, to high school sports we go. Soccer on Friday. Tenasseet knocked off Colville. The final there was 3-1. There was more soccer on Saturday, and here's a scoreboard from Saturday's action on the pitch. It looks something like this. Pick out the team that you like and find out how they did. As far as baseball, just one score on Friday, and that was Kashmir snuck by Quincy at their home field 2-1. But just like soccer, there was a lot more baseball on Saturday, including a number of doubleheaders. And once again, take a look at the Saturday scoreboard and see how your team did. And there you go, including Aberdeen sweeping Ephrata 10-0 and 4-1. Softball scores on Friday. At least there was just the one. Lake Roosevelt 10-run to Brewster. The final there was 11-1. But on Saturday there was more games to be played. A lot of doubleheaders, and there you go. A lot of games as the high school spring sports action is in full swing. In fact, we got baseball this weekend, this Friday, with the Wildcats and the Panthers. Well, the Wenatchee Wild took Everett to overtime in their final game of the season Saturday night, but they lost to the team with the best record in the WHL, 3-2 in front of over 4,000 fans at the Town Toyota Center. The Wild finished with a 23-36, 8-1 record. They finished 9th in the Western Conference. By the way, the WHL playoffs begin on Friday, and Chris Cromartie and Brandon Watkins each scored 27 points. The Wenatchee Bighorns used a big fourth quarter to put away the Seattle Superhawks, 116-104 Saturday night at the W.B. Smith Gym. Nick Fleming and Tavin Cummins added 19 each. Wenatchee plays at Vancouver on Friday night. And those are just some of the games that people are playing at the bottom of the hour. Today is National Chocolate-Covered Raisins Day today. And when we think of that, we think of Raisinets, but there are actually more than one company that makes more than just chocolate-covered raisins, but we think of Raisinets. And I think of Raisinets, I think of just the movies. I never eat Raisinets at home just as a snack, but it's some sort of Pavlovian reaction. I go to the movies, I get Raisinets, which, by the way, is now owned by Nestle and has been for the last 41 years. In case you're curious, Raisinets are made in Burlington, Wisconsin. I did not know that until I did my research. 32 minutes after the hour, today in history, again with the British. March 24th, 1765, Great Britain passes the Quartering Act, which requires the 13 colonies to house and feed British troops. They had to house them and they had to feed them, and they didn't get any money to do it. Yet another clink in the eventual dominoes that would become the American Revolution. What the heck were they thinking? If you've ever seen the movie The Great Escape, it actually happened on this date. Now, The Great Escape is a fictionalized account. It's about half true and half made up. But it actually happened on this date 81 years ago today. 76 Allied prisoners of war began breaking out of Stalag Luft III in northern Germany. It's a good movie. It's a very good movie. And they play a little loosey-goosey with the facts, but it doesn't change the fact it's a heck of an entertaining movie. The actual Great Escape happened on this date in 1944. On this date in 1958, Elvis Presley, rock and roll star, becomes Private Elvis Presley. He is drafted into the United States Army. He was supposed to be in a couple of months earlier, but they were making King Creole. They had already invested $350,000 on pre-production, so Elvis Presley had to personally write the draft board in Memphis, Tennessee to request a deferment. They gave it to him, but on March 24th, 1958, Elvis's year and 6 month long hitch in the Army begins. 36 years ago today, the radar not turned on. The tanker's radar had been broken for more than a year before the Exxon Valdez ran aground and spilled all that crude oil, tons of it, 11 million gallons of crude oil. And of course, it wasn't discovered until afterwards that Exxon knew that the radar didn't work, but they said it was just too expensive to fix it and operate it, so they just let it not work. And because of that, that happened. And 10 years ago today, Andres Lubitz, the co-pilot of Germanwings Flight 9525. He had mental issues. He had been treated by his doctor for suicidal tendencies. His doctor told him he should not work, he should not fly an airplane. He didn't tell his employer. And on this date, as soon as the airplane got to full cruising speed, full altitude, the captain got out of his chair, went to the bathroom. Andres Lubitz locked the cockpit door and initiated a controlled descent that continued until the aircraft crashed into the mountainsides of the French Alps, killing all 150 people on board. Birthdays. Heavenly Birthday. It's not the movies that Steve McQueen did. It's the movies that he turned down. He turned down the role of the Sundance Kid In Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, he and Paul Newman couldn't figure out on the billing. He turned down Martin Sheen's role in Apocalypse Now. He was supposed to be Dirty Harry, not Clint Eastwood, but he didn't want to make another cop movie. He was supposed to play the lead in The French Connection. That went to Gene Hackman. Didn't want to do that. Was supposed to play Richard Dreyfuss's role in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Turned that movie down. But he did make The Great Escape, so we'll give him that. Steve McQueen, born in the state in 1930. Two exact contemporaries and Northwest legends, Dennis Erickson, born and raised in Everett, of course, the head coach of both the Cougars and the Seahawks. He is 78 years old today. So is the former governor of the state of Washington, Christine Gregoire, born on the exact same day as Dennis Erickson. She is 78 years old today, and happy 49th to Peyton Manning. 2 Super Bowls, one with the Colts and one with the Broncos. He is 49 years old today. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsor, and we're darn proud to have them on board. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Immigration is in all the news lately. Mike McKnighty's got an opinion on that. And then our conversation with Bonnie Orr. It's spring, but maybe a little too early to start planting stuff. Good advice from Bonnie Orr. When we come back, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel. It's the NCWLIFE Community Calendar, brought to you by Valley Tractor and Rentals. The Wenatchee School District is hosting a job fair for prospective bus drivers on Saturday, March 29th at the Transportation Building next to Wenatchee High School. You can apply in person and test drive a bus. The 25th edition of the Mariachi Northwest Festival concludes with a gala concert on March 29th at the Wenatchee High School Auditorium. The headliner this year is Shalala Ducal and features the award-winning Mariachi Hanachi. So when we talk about stock and mutual, all I know, and I don't know a lot, Braden, I'm going to be honest with you, stock, a little more volatile, mutual, a little more stable, a little more conservative. Is that essentially correct?
When you look at a mutual company, you have to look at like a policy holder. Right? A policy holder is essentially somebody that buys into a product with that company, and if that company declares a dividend, that company is required to pay that dividend back to the policy holder, right? Where a stockholder, they're not satisfying, people that buy individual contracts or products through that company. Their main focus is taking care of the shareholder. So it's a different in ownership, right? With the mutual company, you have this ownership. You have more ownership and receiving the profits that would come back in the form of a dividend that would go back into your own account.
Does having more ownership mean you get more power in the decision making?
Right, absolutely. Like you would vote necessarily, right? Each and every year with the board of directors, right? You get something in the mail and says, hey, you need to vote on the board of directors, and they keep you updated on the CEO, and they keep you updated on.
You have an ownership stake.
There is, right? And with that ownership stake there's a requirement, right, that the profit, when it goes and they invest our money and then they have a surplus and then they pay out a dividend, that dividend goes back to us, which is very, very valuable.
This is Mike Mad Dog McKnighty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I'm an American. Just look at me. I'm white, I'm male, and if you ignore an occasional New Jerseyism, I speak unaccented English. But the reality is, virtually every black person in this country, and many Asians and many Hispanics, actually have stronger and deeper roots as American than I have. My paternal grandparents came from Macedonia in Italy. And as my mom was actually born in Germany, I'm a first-generation American on her side. Now, considering this, I look at our current immigration issues and I wonder, with unrestrained deportation of people who, for all intents and purposes, are Americans, are we cutting off our nose to spite our face? This is Mike Mad Dog McKnighty, and that's my opinion.
Welcome to Boswell's, where you'll find quality furnishings for every room in your home. Customers ask, do you have solid wood options? Yes, they do. Bamboo, maple, acacia, cherry, mahogany. With 2 floors of quality furniture and complimentary design services, Boswell's design team can create a home that's uniquely yours. For almost a century, people have chosen Boswell's for their quality and customer service. Boswell's Furniture, it's closer than you think.
Hey there folks, Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to experience Blueberry Hills. Of course, the food is fabulous, like our cheese splints, our famous French dip, our legendary Eggs Benedict, and unforgettable burgers. But we're more than just great food. People come from all over the world to experience what's been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
Welcome back to the program. If it's an equinox or a solstice, meaning vernal or whatever the case may be, it's time to visit with Bonnie Orr. Do it 4 times a year. The vernal equinox, formerly the first day of spring. The vernal equinox itself is at 2:01 on Thursday morning, the 20th. Now, we don't do a program at 2:01 on Thursday mornings.
Thank you.
Because we're not idiots. But it is that time of the year. Winter is in our rearview mirror. Spring is upon us, and Bonnie is here to tell you what you need to know as we make that transition to your favorite time of the year, spring. You've made that quite clear. Spring is your favorite because that's when things just start happening.
That's right. Yes, indeed.
We always start these segments with a recap of the previous 3 months, in this case, December, January, and February. December, for the Wenatchee Valley, slightly warmer and slightly wetter than normal. We did have quite a bit of rain, including on December 17th. We had almost a half an inch of rain on December 17th. Warmer and wetter.
Whatever that means.
There you go.
But we still ended up with less precipitation for the year.
Yes, we did. We never get caught up to where we should have been.
Yeah.
Even though we did have a wet December. January, slightly below normal temperatures, below normal precipitation for the most part.
Oh, it was so dry in January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, and we had a long stretch of nothing, no precipitation at all. Yeah, crazy. And then February, slightly cooler, slightly wetter. We had a long period of about 2.5 weeks when we never got to our normal high temperature. And then at the very end of February, remember we had that big warm up that came out of nowhere. Did that jumpstart a few plants here and there? Go, oh, it must be time to go.
No, because the soil is still cold. This morning, my soil, because you know I measure my soil. Of course. My crocus are blooming, and so my soil is 41. That's when the crocus bloom.
Do people, and we talk about
this. It has nothing to do with air temperature.
We talk about this every year, but we have a nice stretch of warm weather. Next week is supposed to be in the lower 60s. And people just go crazy. It's time to bust out and get rid of the winter doldrums and go out and do stuff to your yard.
And people do really crazy things.
Such
as buying bare root plants at the big box stores and things like this. It is not time to garden till the end of April. It really isn't, you know. But people do get into a rush about it. The things you can do right now is make sure that you're protecting your fruit trees with a delayed dormant. Probably for sure. I mean, that makes you have better quality fruit. And the other thing is that it's time to treat your lawn if you choose to do a crabgrass preventer.
I did not. I have an oak tree in my front yard. I think you know that by now. I didn't do a damn thing this year. I let the twigs and the leaves fall, never touched them, never raked them. I don't seem to have done a great deal of damage to my yard. Didn't have a lot of leaves come down to begin with. Do I need to do that? Do I need to rake?
It's been windy. I don't think you have any something
That's true.
Yeah.
Thatching. There's usually
it's a time to thatch, time to treat. You know, people say my lawn is so spongy. Well, that's a good sign that you need to thatch.
Okay, so I thatched, we talked about this before, I thatched my yard, I think for the first time it had ever been thatched, and I brought up 6 or 7, I think it was half a dozen big garbage bags full of thatch. I couldn't believe there was that much there.
People are horrified when they see it, yeah. But you know what? When my neighbors thatch, I always gather it because I use it for mulch.
Yeah. How is your mulch pile going, by the way?
My mulch pile is fine. My compost pile is very slow right now, but everybody's still alive.
Do you do a lot of composting and mulching in the cold winter months? You got to go out and stir it every once in a while.
Nope.
But do you really need to?
I never
water it?
store. I
Yeah.
never stir it.
Okay.
Okay. I just keep adding more dry material and a minimum of wet. I pour off any extra water from my vegetable scraps and things. Otherwise,
I mentioned oak trees. There's a number of oak trees, fairly young, across the street at Wenatchee City Hall. I'm not going to mention the name of the landscaping company because I told Royce I wasn't going to mention their name. They were out trimming, doing the pruning and the trimming last week. Too early, maybe?
I have no comment.
Okay, there we go. There you go. Just thought I'd bring that up. I don't know what's going on there. Fertilizer.
Okay.
Don't be stupid. We talk about this every year, and people still insist on doing dumb stuff. Basically overdoing it.
Okay, so this week they're going to get excited because it's going to be warm, so they're going to put on fertilizer. But the trouble is that the soil is not warm, and the grass only grows when the soil is warm. It has to be 50 degrees. So we're putting this stuff on, it's not going to work. And if you water it in or we get some rain, it'll wash it away. So wait till the grass starts to grow.
And most people, if you're going to water this time of the year, and you shouldn't be anyway, you're using domestic water because the ditches aren't on.
Right.
Yeah, so that's just silly. I guess the number one thing, and we got a lot of stuff to talk about, is just don't rush into things. Just because the weather gets nice
for a week
doesn't mean you go out and start doing this stuff.
That's right, and it all has to do with soil temperature. It truly does. You know, people just want to plant now, and some people have already started their tomato plants. You essentially cannot put out tomato plants until May, you know, at the earliest. I never put my tomato plants out until June, the beginning of June. And you know how I know the soil is warm enough for tomato plants? You know how there's always a few leftover tomatoes that get left on the ground, especially cherry tomatoes? When those germinate at the beginning of June, I know the soil's warm enough for tomatoes.
Well, that's simple enough.
I know, isn't that easy?
That's a great rule of thumb. What about starting stuff inside and then moving them outside when the soil and the air temperature is warm enough?
Yes, okay. But if you start them now, okay, they're going to get pretty and if they get leggy, they never recover.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you cannot rush the season. I have started herb plants. I've started parsleys and basil and sweet marjoram because they take a long time to come up.
That has really taken off. I was watching something over the weekend because the prices, here's a big surprise. The prices of something have gone up. The prices of herbs and spices have gone just crazy lately, the last couple of years. You go to the grocery store, the spice rack section, and the stuff the staples that everybody normally has, whether be it McCormick's or whatever.
Yeah,
the prices of spices have gone crazy.
Well, and they are particularly going to change, in my opinion, because of tariff changes. Because almost all of our spices are grown in other places.
Yeah, cumin. I don't think there's any cumin that's grown in North America and some others.
Well, cumin is coriander.
Okay, yeah.
Is cilantro.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And so, but we have a hard time growing cilantro. We can grow it in the fall. We can't grow it in the spring or the summer.
Makes perfect sense to me. Roses. This is very important because roses are usually first one out of the gate.
Yes, and I think their leaves are starting to emerge, so probably you need to clean up your roses, maybe this weekend.
Okay, get on that,
Yeah.
folks. Protect fruit trees. Now, I don't have any, and most people I know who have a backyard lone fruit tree, they've gotten rid of it because they don't want to have to go through all the stuff that they have to do to maintain it. You know, they have to spray it and they have to do all that stuff just to grow apricots and peaches and a couple of cherries here and there.
And last year nature took care of that for us. There were no peaches, nectarines, plums because of that very, very cold weather, right when everything was blooming. So there was no fruit last year, and soft fruit. You know, I thought that was very interesting. But your cherries and your apples have to be protected. And you also want to have that dormant spray on this week, which is an oil. Okay, because what happens is it smothers overwintering bad guys and different types of diseases. Because in the middle of summer, all of a sudden you have a peach that's misshapen or has pits in it and all sorts of things. Well, that's because you didn't take care of it.
If your lawn was shaggy before winter came, which means it's really shaggy now, is it okay to go out and mow the lawn even though,
Depends on how wet your lawn is.
Well, let's assume it's dry because it's dry almost everywhere.
Okay.
Lay off on it for a little bit, maybe? Yeah?
I don't know. Do you have anything else to do in your life?
I'm a busy man.
There you go.
You know, I got TV Guide in the mail yesterday. I got to circle all the deal. Oh, when is the next time we're going to have a good tomato year? We've talked about this. The tomato growers have been pulling their hair out for, what, 4 or 5 years now? It's been a long time.
Well, the problem is that tomatoes are probably one of the most fussy things. They like it above 60 and below 85.
And we've had unbelievably hot. I mean, July was like one of the hottest ever.
Okay, so our tomatoes all came on in September because what happens is that the pollen from the flower dries up before it can fertilize the fruit, and so we don't have any set.
60 to 85, and we've had summer days. We had stretches of them last July and into early August where the overnight low was 85 or 80 degrees. I mean,
but we also, the year before, our August nights were in the 50s. So the tomatoes were really uncomfortable. Yeah.
Is there a guaranteed way to grow tomatoes every year to get a good batch if you're going to grow them outside?
Is there any guarantee for anything you grow?
Geez.
No.
We're going to get very philosophical here.
I mean, really, it's not.
Yeah.
You know, what you do is you just do the best you can. I think the least sensitive tomatoes are those cherry tomatoes.
Okay.
Okay.
I mentioned I didn't rake my lawn this year, even though there's not a lot of leaves left. There's some patches of it. If I rake it, am I going to find buggy fuzzies underneath it that I don't want to damage or anything like that? Underneath it, we're okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
How are things at the Chelan Douglas Master Gardeners?
You know something? We are now meeting at the library in the basement room. It's really a nice new place.
Yeah, the old basement room is just...
It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Now what they've done is beautiful.
Monday from 1 to 4.
Okay.
And then the Master Gardeners also are able to, you can communicate with us by email. And on Thursdays, the Master Gardeners get together on Zoom and prepare to answer all those questions.
Cool. Is that something we can download? Is that something we can look at on the website? Or is it posted on YouTube or something like that?
No, I think you can. Okay, so the Master Gardeners get together on Thursday morning, divide up the questions, and then somebody gets back to the person who's asked the question.
Okay. You guys are very rarely stumped, though, are you? I mean, you guys are pretty good at that.
We've had a couple. We have had some stumps.
Yeah.
Okay, but there are sources all over the country because every single state has an extension service, and every single state has Master Gardeners.
Do people, when they get a hold of the Chelan Douglas Master Gardeners, Chelan Douglas Master Gardeners, that's plural, @gmail.com, do they ever get a hold of you just for advice? I mean, not this is a problem, what do I do to fix it? Do they get a hold of you for any other reason? Like, what do you recommend? Or what do you think would go good this year?
Yes, and I tell them, I know nothing about you. No, I mean, everybody has their own ideas of what they want to grow. In fact, today I'm going to speak with the Cascade Garden Club in Leavenworth, and they ask me about what kind of things can bloom. I'm going, what do you like?
Best advice I got from Bonnie Orr years and years ago during Green Thumbs and Dirty Knees: don't grow any vegetables unless you plan on eating them.
That's right.
That made perfect sense to me.
I know. It's really interesting.
If you don't like rutabaga, why
That's
grow
right.
it?
That's right.
What's the point there? What else is on your mind?
Okay, I am just such a proponent of mulch.
Yes, you are. You made that quite clear.
Very often. Okay, so one of the ways you can protect your garden is by using mulch to keep the roots cool. Okay. You also don't have to weed. I never weed my garden because I use grass clippings and I use leaves, ground up leaves.
You mentioned weeding.
3 inches
Maybe
or 4
we should
inches.
mention weeding. Should we
Yeah.
do that
What do you
real
want to
quick?
know? What do you want to do?
I don't like doing it.
Well, I haven't even started. Yeah. I only weed in the early spring and in the late fall.
That's the only time you ever have to.
Yeah.
That's good news.
So,
that's good news.
But anyway, and weeding can be very relaxing. You can go out with a cup of coffee in the morning.
True. Or a glass of wine in the afternoon.
Evening. Why not?
Yeah, sure. Why not? One last thing, we'll cut you loose. We're going to do another interview with the good folks who are helping put on Arbor Day.
Yes.
The activities this year are April 12th, Cashmere, East Wenatchee City Hall, and this year a new location, the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center.
That's right.
Here in the big city.
That's right. That's going to be the Wenatchee location.
Right.
And just for a heads up, the committee tries to choose things which are appropriate. And so flowering things, red currant, which has beautiful red flowers, lilac, blue elderberry, and those 3 things also attract all sorts of pollinators, and they also provide food for birds.
How did you birds do this winter, by the way?
Very, very. I had almost no birds. In fact, I had. Okay.
You love your place.
I know, but on January 1st, I always do a survey at my house. Usually, I have 30 to 32 species. This year, I had 12.
Really?
Because there's no snow. So the birds can be out anywhere feeding.
Yeah,
they don't have to be congregated around a feeder. I want to finish with the two trees.
Please,
two trees. The thin leaf alder and the mountain ash.
Okay.
Okay. Again, things that are appropriate for our area, appropriate for our size of our lots, and provide shelter for birds and other animals.
We love our birds.
We love our birds.
We love our animals, and we love our gardening. Bonnie Orr. Again, any questions, any concerns, Chelan Douglas Master Gardeners.gmail. Thanks for writing that down because we always mess that up. Have a great spring. Happy gardening.
I plan to have a happy spring.
Absolutely. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Spring into the good life. World-class wine, food, and hospitality meet on the shores of Lake Chelan. Chelan Cellars, bringing great wine, food, friends, and family together where vineyards and the good life bloom every spring.
Tipsy Canyon Winery has become the place to go for fine wine and unbelievable views of the Chelan Valley. Tipsy Canyon Winery is a year-round destination for wine lovers, so stay for the moment that becomes the memory at Tipsy Canyon Winery.
When you've been in business for 40 years, it's because you understand change and you put members first, always. Now Works is announcing a change in their membership model. Up to 6 people on one membership that you can mix and match. The more people, the bigger the discounts. Introducing the Works shared membership model. One membership, friends and family and flexibility. Works, the cleanest, friendliest, most helpful gyms you and your friends will ever join.
Not much has changed temperature-wise. It was actually in the lower 50s when I got down to the office about 3.5 hours ago. We've cooled down a little bit. It's still 48. That's pretty mild, and we're in for a very warm stretch of weather. It started yesterday. We had 58 on Sunday. The warm air has seeped up and given us some pretty warm temperatures. We're going to see the 60s today and the possibility of the 70-degree mark both Tuesday and Wednesday before we cool back down. The one thing we are going to have today is wind. Not so much here in the Wenatchee Valley, but out in the Columbia Basin. It's already quite breezy out of the Moses Lake and Ephrata area. So here's a quick little video that the National Weather Service sent down your way so you can take a look at where you live, the wind direction, the wind speed, and your timeline is in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. So we're going to have a couple of road gusts here and there, maybe 10, 15 miles an hour here and there. Most of the wind is going to be out in the Columbia Basin. Right now, it's already west-southwest at 15 miles an hour in Moses Lake. Same deal with Ephrata. It's breezy out there, and it's a little on the breezy side up north in Omak, and that's really where most of the wind will be relegated today. The farther east you go, the more wind you're going to get, but there's going to be some windy conditions out in the Columbia Basin. Thought we'd let you know about that. As far as the rest of the week is concerned, or the week in detail, here we go. Could still get a stray raindrop or two. It was raining earlier up in the Lake Wenatchee area. We'll warm up to about 63 or so, and again, a little breezy at times. Clouds will keep the blanket on, so 46 for the overnight low tonight. Tuesday looks good. Sunshine all day, very little wind. We could get to 70 on Tuesday. Wednesday, we could get to 70 again. The only difference is we're going to see a few more clouds on Wednesday, especially late in the day, because late in the day into Wednesday night is when the system is going to slide out of here. And look how much we're going to cool down from the upper 60s to near 70 on Wednesday, all the way down to 57. And by the way, Wednesday night into Thursday, quite a bit of rain. Rain from about 11 o'clock Wednesday night till about 7 a.m. Thursday morning. And we'll cool down quite a bit on Thursday under partly sunny skies. Will be about 57 or so. Lingering chance of rain on Friday, lots of clouds, back to normal with 54 for our high temperature. And we'll be just about normal on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday didn't look too bad. Lots of sunshine there, but very warm, very mild for this time of the year for the next 3 days. Enjoy it. Have a good and safe Monday. We will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.